What is up, guys? It's your friend Undeadbread here, back with another commentary. Well, at least another try at making a commentary that's not too embarrassing. Today we've got Sephiroth here, sent in a replay on Zack. He's a silver player and wants some advice to try and take him to the next level. That level being gold, of course, so we can get that Victorious Elise skin and all those cool rewards that Riot's giving out. It looks like he's setting up for a red start here, which is probably a pretty good idea versus Jungle Shen. So let me just get these little icons here straightened out while we're waiting. Got Zack here, and Jungle Shen on top. Singe is probably going to be top lane against Rumble, I'm thinking. Alright, probably going to be Elisa in middle. Ken in middle as well. Caitlyn versus Draven, and of course, Nami versus Janna. So, you've got a very strong disengage and engage here from the purple team, and pretty strong global pressure from the blue team as well, with a big tank line. We'll have to see how that works out later on in team fights, but hopefully purple team will be able to push their advantage here with the Zack initiation and Janna ultis here. So he's going to go ahead and start off with his blue. Shen's going to do the same. He is running that machete in 5 pots, and I believe Shen is as well. Yep. Shen ends up having to waste 2 health pots on the blue golem, which is a shame, because he doesn't get a very good leash. Zack plays it like a real man, goes straight to the red buff, and brings in the bush. Make sure he's not getting counter jungled. Very smart play. He's going to go ahead and take that as fast as he can. And he picks up his Q at level 2. Now, personally, I prefer picking up my E at level 2, but it's really a matter of preference what you want to do. Looks like he's going to come top here for a gank, and let's see what he can do. Singed is out of mana, and he prepares the Elastic Slingshot, flies in, and puts down some good damage on Singed with the slow. And Rumble does overextend a little bit. I think he's going to go down. Yeah. So Rumble makes a little mistake there. Unfortunately, as a jungler, sometimes you unintentionally bait your lanes. But he should have known that Singed would flip him, even though he was pretty close to him. It's a shame, but he is going to go back in, try and get the kill. And he does force Singe to pop his ghost, so he's going to pick up his bloblets and farm the lane, push a little bit, get that lane EXP, no problem. You know, a great thing about getting that EXP early on, too, is it really puts you ahead of the other jungler. Even if you're not getting the kill, if you get that lane EXP, it really puts you in a great position. Now, as you can see, mid lane is getting wrecked pretty hard here, but Lee Sin's going to bait, and Zack's going to come in. Unfortunately, he does whiff the Elastic Slingshot there, and Kennen manages to get away with his dash. Kennen's a pretty tough character to gank because of that dash, but it does have a pretty long cooldown and a high energy cost, so if you can gank him when it is down, like this, then you'll have a lot more luck. So he's going to flash onto him, take him down easily. I'm not completely sure if the flash was necessary there, but securing the kill is always worth a flash in my opinion, especially early game on a mid. So he's going to go ahead and take some camps. He is maxing his E first, which is, in my opinion, a very good way to go. I've seen a lot of people who actually max their W first as well, and the reason why I don't agree with that is because when you max your E, the range on it actually increases significantly, giving you a lot more initiation power mid-game and late game. So he goes back to take some camps again, no problem. Now if I were him, I'd be looking towards middle again, because this Kennen seems to not be warden here. And possibly top again, even though Singe is pretty tricky to gank. So he does get the counter gank on Shen. Very nice play. He might not have known that he was there, but it was good of him to show up. So Lee Sin does fall down. Unfortunately, Shen is too strong, and he has to back off. Now in this situation, it would be smart to go back mid after Wolves and try and soak up this big wave EXP here, because he could probably get to 6 from it. In fact, he definitely could. So looks like he's gonna run back. All right, he only misses a couple creeps. I might have stayed and just gotten all the creeps to ignite. It's gonna take him down to his passive. I wouldn't have popped my ulti there, but it looked like kind of a panic ulti, so it's not really that big of a deal. So he ends up getting level 6. His passive is now down. It's a 5-minute cooldown, I believe. I don't think it says. Alright, so he does see the gank bot lane, and Bot lane is just making work out of that gang. Don't even need his help. But Lee Sin and Zac both come down. Very nice. Now, in this situation, it would be a very good idea to go for Dragon. However, he is going to decide to go for his red buff, which should be spawning here in a second. Again, it would have been a free Dragon, and it's probably a much better idea to pick that up than the red buff, even though he didn't actually pick up the red buff. He was just a couple seconds off, unfortunately. But that's alright. He's going to go pick up his buff, make sure it doesn't get counter jungled by Shen. Even though Shen isn't really the strongest counter jungler, but you never know. So, he sees the Shen gank top, and he's going to go up there and help his Rumble. Rumble runs down, throws down the ulti, he's going to let's bounce all over him. And if I were him, I'd be focusing on trying to take down that Shen, because he's significantly more squishy than the Singed is. However, he does just back off. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and rewind it, and we'll see if... we'll see what we could have done better here. So he's bouncing on the Singe. He doesn't actually get the ultimate effect on the Shen. And if you look at Shen, he only has 700 life as opposed to the Singe. He has about 700 too. But you can tell he's a lot more tanky. He has that ultimate on. He has the bonus armor and magic resist. He's a lot faster. Shen would have been a better target. If he had jumped on Shen, him and Rumble combined with their cooldowns might have been able to take him out and make it a 1-for-1 trade. So Shen does come down for a gank middle. Let's see if he expects this. I believe this is warded. Oh, it's warded by the blue team. So, and Lee Sin does get caught, and he probably is gonna fall over here. Anyways, back to the jungler. I keep forgetting that that's what I'm doing the commentary on here. So he's gonna do some damage to Singe. Singe is trying to proxy farm, but he's not gonna let that happen. He's gonna get that EXP top, and that's exactly what you want to see. Rumble's gonna come back, but he did get a full wave and a half there, so that's very good for him. He's sitting at level 7. Shen is also at level 7, even with a little bit more better of a track record for ganks there. One thing you notice about this playthrough is that Shen seems to be the one who's making the plays, and Zac seems to be doing the counter ganks. He's trying to keep up with the Shen's plays, which is interesting to see, because usually as a Shen, you're going to be the one who's counter ganking with your the global pressure from your ultimate. So as Zac, I'd probably try to put a little bit more pressure on bot lane and mid lane. In this situation, tower diving probably is not a good idea. I can't actually see if he has his ulti up or not, but they're going to tower dive, kind of has his ulti, but he does go down very quickly. That Lee Sin has a lot of damage. And he's got the early brutalizer. Alright. So he's probably going to take some camps and then back. Lee Sin does get caught, but he helps him out. No problem. Now, I've noticed that bot lane has been pushed here for a while, and not only that, but his purple side over here has pink warded the bushes for him. Unfortunately, he has not seen that, or he doesn't like a pressure or applying pressure bottom or something. I'm not really sure, but if your bot lane is going to the trouble of pink warding the river for you, you should really do your best to try and help him out with the ganks. They're obviously extremely bushed up. So what he's going to do here, he's going to try and fling himself over the wall here. Bot lane doing some good damage. He's going to run through a ward on Dragon. Maybe they don't see him. Alright. Apparently they don't see him, and this is going to be an easy gank for him. Draven's going to fall over pretty easily. Let's see if they can pick up the Nami. Doesn't look like it, but I just want to throw in a little advice right here too. If you're ganking on purple side here, and you're coming down from your blue buff or whatever, you want to run down here to tri-bush. If you're a champion with a gap closer that doesn't require a target, I'm talking Vi, Zac, J4, a really a high-level way of ganking this, and one that not very many people expect, frankly, is to, if you come up here from this tri-bush, and you come down to this little tree line right here where the river is, and you use your gap closer over the wall to the bush where this pink ward is in right here, people will not see you, and all you have to do is, this bush is hardly ever warded, obviously. The ward is usually sitting out here closer to Dragon or in this tri-bush here. So if you sneak your way in here, you can just wait for your gap closer cooldown and then do a gank, and they will, 9 times out of 10, they just won't even see you there. So that's a really, really good way to gank people on bot lane. Especially if your side is that bush pink warded, because that's guaranteed, pretty much a guaranteed gank that they won't know is coming. He's going to go middle and soak some good XP. Good job, Sephiroth. That's what we like to see. And he he's gotten so much EXP from lanes this game that he is the same level as their mid laner, which is pretty impressive. And he does end up having to waste his ultimate. He's building the blue golem item. Very good, and he gets the ninja tabby because, as we all know, tenacity does not stack. He picks up a ward, that's great. Let's see if he remembers to use it, though. And he comes bottom. Lee Sin doing fine work at their bot lane. He does kind of come in and KS out a little bit. It's not really that big of a deal, I don't think. Junglers gotta get their tax too, right? Dragon is not there. Unfortunately, blue team did take it earlier when it was pink warded, and bot lane did not have it warded. In Zach's position, I probably would have tried to drop my ward at Dragon a little bit sooner so that he could have that vision. Even if it was pink warded, you would still know when their support's going out there to possibly counter gank them when they did that. So he's gonna try and set up a little trap here, but unfortunately, it's not gonna prove to be successful for him. So it looks like they're grouping up right now to push mid lane. And Kennen does have his ulti up, Nami does have her ulti up, and Singe is waiting in the wings here. So if they decided to do some kind of a tower dive, it probably would not work out very well for them. Fortunately, he backs and gets all big as he recovers his health there. He is going to pick up a giant spell. Now, at this phase of the game, you can see that he's doing a lot of backing and running back to jungle or to counter gank or whatever. Honestly, I would probably recommend the Home Guard enchantment as fast as possible. And you see that he's about 100 gold short of it right now. It does cost 475 gold. If I had been in his situation, when I came back here from mid, I probably would have taken Wraiths and Wolves so that I could have bought that Home Guard enchantment plus the Giant Spell. That would have been a much better way to handle that situation, but it's no problem. He does see that his team is getting engaged on here in the bush, but he's a little bit late. He lets Lee Sin bait it, you see, and he is going to go in, but the wave is going to disrupt him. Caitlyn does get taken down 1v1 by the Draven, and he is in a very bad position here. Lee Sin is going to come back in to help him, but Kennen does have that ultimate. So it would have been a good idea to have popped his ult a little bit sooner, perhaps. Let me jump back here. So he just got knocked up by the wave here. And he's bubbled up, he's CC'd, taunted. They're using all their stuff on him. So he uses ulti. Okay, that's actually a pretty good timing on the ulti. But it just proves to be too much. Unfortunately, he arrived to the fight a bit late. His team did get caught pretty hard. And in that situation, really, there's nothing you can do. But it would have been a good idea to back out sooner. Looks like Shen does actually save Nami there. Maybe not. We'll see. Oh, and the minions and the tower. Should have waited just a little bit longer there, Nami. Anyways, back to Zach here. Top tower has been lost, the first tower, so Singe does now have control of the top part of his jungle here. What people don't really understand about laning and jungling together is that if your laners lose their towers early on, you're actually losing a huge chunk of your presence in your own jungle. And that means that you're going to have to ward inside your own jungle, spend even more money, and it's going to put you even farther behind if you don't want to lose all your buffs. He's going to go look at their red buff. He is a little bit low. Shen's at full health, no problem. He can take him on. Beat him right out of his jungle. He's going to head back again. Now again, he does have 900 gold. He needs to buy home guards right here. He gets a ward and a chain vest. That's alright too. So he's obviously going for the Sunfire build. Dragon has respawned. They both know it's up. He's directly on his way. Singed and Rumble are both sitting top. And let's see. Rumble, no teleport. Singed, also no teleport. However, Singe is a bit faster. So if they do a fight here, Singe is going to be here before Rumble probably. So they're baiting it out here. He's sitting in a warded bush, which is unfortunate for him. He does go for the engage here. Now, as you can see, his engage is not bad at all. It's actually a pretty damn good engage. He gets a Let's Bounce on top of 4 different people. However, his team is kind of far away, and they don't really follow up. And that's what really turns this fight around. If I had been Zach, I'd probably say that, you know, I played that well, but my team didn't help me out at all. But in reality, he probably should have waited just a little bit longer. They were pretty clumped up, and they were just kind of sitting like that. So I think if he had waited for the opportunity just a little bit longer, he could have had a better engage with his teammates there. However, it wasn't entirely bad, as it was actually 0 for 0. Nobody died, except for Caitlyn goes down here. But she does manage to pick up the Nami, no problem. Zach comes back. Oh boy, he is very small. He decides that might be a bad idea to go after the 4 and 3 Draven here, so he's going to go ahead and back. Let's see if he picks up some home guards. No, sir, he does not, but no problem. It doesn't look like anybody's actually picked them up yet. So he groups with his team mid. Now, at this point, their blue buff is up, and if I were him, I would have tried to ward inside their jungle a little bit more, and especially early game, I would have tried to ward more, because when you have that early pressure with the wards in their jungle in the early game, it's a lot easier to maintain it throughout the late game. And that's really important, to secure those extra buffs for your team. That's when you secure an extra blue buff for yourself and your mid laner, that pretty much guarantees them a free lane win. So he does go back in here. Draven's pretty big, kites a little bit. And they are going to get chased off, unfortunately. Oh boy. Zach goes back in. He tries to take him out. However, his team is dealing with Kennen. Let's see. He is going to fall down, and his team's going to go ahead and chase him down. This should be a pretty decisive victory for him here. So far, it's 1 for 2. Lee Sin's going to take Draven out, hopefully. Rumble takes out Nami. All right, that was a 4 for 1. That was a really fantastic play, and what they need to do right now is push an objective. So, Lee Sin's going to back, and unfortunately, they're not going to be able to take out this tower. Shen is a pretty damn strong tower defender, and they're going to have to back off. Hopefully, they don't do anything silly here. Tower dive with Shen or anything like that. So right now you can see Purple's ward coverage is pretty poor. He doesn't have his own buffs warded, which is not very good because he has the top tower. The top tower is missing, which means he has little to no control in his top jungle, and the same with Baron. So they do throw a ward over the wall on Baron. He's going to go ahead and back. Let's see what he's waiting to buy. Probably Sunfire. Yep, he grabs Sunfire. So now he has a lot more damage in teamfights, and we'll see if that can help him to turn around the way that teamfights have been going so far, with the exclusion of the last one. Alright, Rumble doing work in this game. Eating 4, very fed. They are going to try and take the Baron here. Now guys, Baron is sometimes a good idea, but sometimes it's also a very, very big throw. I think it's going to work out for him here, but especially when you're playing against a team with Kennen, anyone who does AoE magic damage especially is a very, very big threat to you when you're doing Baron, because everybody's grouped up in a little hole, and Baron has a stacking debuff which stacks on all the players who are attacking him, and what it does is it makes you take percentage magic damage increase. So if Kennen comes in and ults your whole team while you're taking Baron, and you've been taking Baron for a good 30 seconds or whatever, he is going to do, like, he's just going to completely shred your entire team. Not even just the CC and the base damage from his ultimate, but the extra damage from the Baron debuff will just completely take out your team. But it does work out for him in this case. If blue team had been more on the ball about warding that Baron, they might have been able to disrupt, maybe even win a team fight there 3v5, because they do have Nami, Kennen, and I believe they also had Draven up, who's pretty big. But they do get aced for it, and that is going to be the game. So Purple did play very, very well this game. At points, they had issues in their map control and in their jungle control, but blue didn't really capitalize on that very well. Zach did very, very well, and his initiations were pretty solid. However, I think that he could have communicated a little bit better with his teammate. Maybe pinged a little bit more, or typed that he was thinking about going in. I don't know. Typically, I like to just ping it a couple times when I want to go in, guys, because you need to make sure that your team's going to follow up. If your team's not going to follow up, it's going to be a bad engage, like we saw over by the Dragon one time. So overall, pretty good playing from Sephiroth. He did very good in this game. 3, 2, and 12. Ended up with Sunfires, a blue golem, and those Ninja Tabby. Personally, I would have liked to see some home guard mid-game, maybe a little bit later, maybe a little bit earlier. Personally, it's one of my favorite items, guys. I buy it on almost everybody in every role. But that might just be preference. It doesn't look like anybody else really did either, so no problem. So congratulations to Purple Team. You all did very, very well. And thanks for watching, guys. If you like this commentary or you have a replay that you want to send in, make sure to send it to undeadbreadreplay@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to take a look at it. Thanks, guys.